Hey, this is Stef, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast. Season 2. Hello, everyone. I'm Stef Vachon, and I'm a human being. Again, welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast, finally loving and respecting ourselves. This is a podcast for the 2S LGBTQI+ community, along with our friends, allies, and all human beings. I'm so excited to be here with you today with our first guest of season 2. To start, I need to say that I'm not a psychologist, a specialist, or someone with a college degree. I'm just a regular guy here to share with all of you and support each other. I won't tell anyone how to do things. Instead, I will share my journey. We will all share our journeys together. We'll learn from each other how to move forward. Before we meet our guest, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you for being here and to remind you to please subscribe now to the Together Moving Forward podcast channel. It might seem like a small gesture, but it truly makes a huge difference. By subscribing, you're just not supporting me as a creator. You're actively helping this podcast to grow and reach more people all over the world who need to hear these stories. Stories of resilience, of identity, of healing, and of joy. Stories that remind us that we are not alone, that we matter, and that our voices deserve to be heard. And if you ever wonder why this matters, just remember what you could have had when you were struggling, when you needed a space like this, a voice like this, a reminder that someone out there understood. As someone who's been on this journey myself, I know how powerful it is to feel seen and heard. By sharing this podcast and the episodes, you never know. You might even save someone's life. This is all about coming together for each other. No matter where we are from in the world, we are all connected. This podcast is a passion project that comes from the heart, and it takes a lot of time, energy, and love to keep it going. So when you subscribe, when you share an episode, or when you take a moment to leave a review, you're helping me continue this mission to create a safe space for open conversations, for truth-telling, and for celebrating the strength and beauty of the 2S LGBTQI+ community. That's what we're building here, together. This podcast isn't just about storytelling. It's about healing, connecting, and creating something meaningful for those who are still searching for hope. Because when we show up for each other, we just don't change individual lives. We change the collective story. For every person who feels seen and heard because of one episode, we all grow a little stronger, a little more compassionate, and a little more free. So thank you. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Your support means a lot, and together we are moving forward. All right, without any more waiting, it's time to dive in and meet our guest. I'm really excited for you to hear another inspiring story. So let's get started. Hello, Lanzz, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast. I'm really happy to have you with us as my first guest of season 2.
Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Lanzz,
Yeah.
you arrived in Montreal, Canada in 2002, and you're originally from Martinique. Can you tell us a little more about yourself?
Ooh, wow, long time ago. So yeah, I came in 2002. I was born and raised in Martinique. I was born in, I don't know if I'm going to say my age right now. No, I was born in 83. I'm proud to be 42 now. So born and raised in the Caribbean, came here because I wanted to study. Also, I wanted to leave the island because, well, Martinique, it's a beautiful island, but still a very tiny island. And I needed to go away. When I finished my French studies, I was really into criminology. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And there was 2 places to do that in France, Lille and Montreal, if I wanted to do it in French. So I came here. I studied criminal psychology and a few other things. And here I am. I'm a parent also. I'm a parent of twins that just turned 9. And I'm in
Congratulations.
a very beautiful 4 parents and 2 kids family. That's pretty much that. And I work at the LGBT Family Coalition.
So you had a happy childhood, but growing up in your environment, coming out was not an option. Could you tell us more about that experience?
Oh, so yeah, it was. I mean, living in Martinique, people see it as this beautiful island, very like colorful, and that's true. It's a great place to have holidays. But there, when you're there as a queer person, it's completely different because you have to live a complete other life in the
Mm.
life you're still living. I had an amazing childhood full of activities. My parents were very present, very supportive of whatever I was doing. But I realized very early on that I love girls. I don't know if I can say that I love girls. I just knew that I was more going like, leaning toward those feminine or just like little girls that were looking like me at that time.
Mhm.
Didn't know, didn't put a name on it. It was just that. But also it's a very religious culture, um with this sense of taboo regarding of homosexuality. And I learned that very, very early in my childhood. My parents was at the time, we were evangelists at the time, so we were going to Sunday school, and I remember at Sunday school they were talking about what was right and what was wrong. And I
Mhm.
remember vividly that they were saying love is between a man and a woman, and anything other than that is a sin and you're going to hell. It was
Okay.
just a simple sentence. It was not homosexuality is bad. It was not, don't be a homosexual. It was more really simple as that, a man and a woman.
Simple, but you're going straight to hell, which is not not
Exactly.
yeah.
Simple, but like the straight to hell was like the key word,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
key word straight to hell. And I remember I was like, this is it. This is it. What the feeling, the things I'm feeling, I have to hide it. I have to
Mm.
make sure that never comes out. And of course, emotional distress was like, you know, at the roof because, and I
Mhm.
have to find many, many ways to cope with that, to escape it. So I did a lot of sport. I was lucky enough to start swimming at 3. So I was swimming every day, competition. So I didn't really have time to think about my sexuality at the time because a lot was competition and school. And but at some point, trying to hide it,
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
comes right back at you at some point because growing up, the hormones, you became a teenager, feelings start to get involved in your
Yeah.
life. And it was a hard time. I was good at hiding who I was. I think I was good at hiding my feelings, but I started to feel like if I if it didn't go through what I was feeling and what I was attracted to, I would probably not be here to talk about that with you today. It was
Mm.
it was a hard time. It was hard to process what I call the coming in. It was really hard to process it for me, especially, in my surrounding. I didn't really see, or I didn't want to see, maybe lesbian, black lesbians, because I didn't feel that I fit in that description. The lesbian I was seeing on TV or things like that was really, really masculine. I'm a masculine presenting person, but at that time, it was the really stereotypical butch, or very what we call now like aggressive lesbians, in their expressions. And I was like, oh, this is not me, because at that time I was trying to fit so badly, like, the dresses and the skirts, but I was still, this, what they call in French is garçon manqué. I don't know the expression. It's like a tomboy, kind
A
of.
tomboy. Yeah, a tomboy.
A
Yeah, I would say, yeah,
tomboy.
tomboy.
So it was really hard. And other than that, on the other side, people were saying in my country that it was something white people were doing. And definitely I was not white. I'm still not white. So it was really hard to navigate in that perception. So I was, okay, what I'm gonna do? What am I gonna do? It was really hard. It was really hard I until I leave. I had to leave. At some point I felt suffocated. I
Mhm.
had to leave. And I remember I had said to my parents, I don't know if they remember that, but I had said, even if I don't have my diploma, I will leave. And I thought maybe they took that as a joke, because, what I'm going to do without my diploma and leave my country like that. I was, 19 at the time. Luckily for me, I got my diploma, and I got the chance to go and study what I wanted to study. But yeah, I had to leave. It was a matter of, I will say, life and death. Maybe not death as we what we know about death, but yeah, the death of me, not my
Yeah.
person, my real person, like I'm dying, but the death of me, myself. And it will be like a very self-destruction probably process. So luckily for me, I left. And yeah.
Do you think it was dangerous physically for you to come out in your island?
I will not say that it will be physically difficult. It's still a peaceful island. It's still a peaceful island, but sometimes the talks, the saying, what people say to you, the very religious, like you're going to hell, and
Mhm.
we people have to realize that outside it seems to be, oh my God, this is not okay. If people talk, let them talk. But when you live there and it's your culture, what you were raised in it, that's what you learn since a young age. That's how you grew up with those
Believed.
principles,
Yeah.
with those sayings. And of course, even if it's just, oh, you this and you that, you're going to hell. It's not good. And also there's the sentence, imagine what you're doing to your parents, to your family. You're putting shame on your family. You're putting shame on your parents. Your parents didn't raise you well. So it was not only on myself. It was
Mhm.
also on what my parents tried to do for me. Everything they put down for me as a kid. And as I said, my parents were very loving parents. They were there for me. They were there through all my swimming competition. Oh, trust me, there were many, and they were there.
Mhm.
So I had the chance to have very, very present parents. And my mom was there. My mom stopped working to raise their kid to raise her kids, my brother and I. So, this typical woman who were there for everything that we were doing at school. Um, so imagine putting this burden on my family. I this is that was impossible to do. That was completely impossible to do. It was not physically. I don't think I would be attacked because um now I realized they were homosexual at the time, but they were saying, people are saying, oh, you live with your friend. Oh, how's your friend? Even if people really
Yeah.
know that it's not your friend, you're living with your best friend like for more than 20 years. But it's okay. Like everybody knows. But how people see you, and it would be difficult to live openly. And that's also the worst part, because I know people that still this day, they are in relationship, they are families inside. Everybody knows that they are family, but outside, the kids are saying, this is my mom and this is my mom's friend. And even if it's not dangerous physically, it's still dangerous because, they're going to slash your tire. They're going to tag your house. They're going to kill your cat, your dogs. So they're not gonna touch you, but they're gonna touch everything around
Yeah.
you. And and they're gonna ostracize your parents, because parents, they won't have friends anymore, because friends, they wouldn't want to be with, the parents
Mhm.
of a gay child or LGBT child.
Yeah.
But at the time it was more like gay or lesbian child.
Mhm.
And we have a Creole word for gay guys. And also, it was hard because everything was about gay guys. So we had this word in Creole saying makume. Makume is for guys, but they don't know, and it's a derogatory word, but there are no specific word for lesbian.
Like
So
if it does not exist.
exactly. So already it's erasing of
Yeah.
what we are.
Mhm.
And if you don't have a word, if you don't have image, if you have nothing, you don't exist. So try to explain somebody something that doesn't exist,
Yeah.
and try to make it okay when it's not okay.
Mhm.
It's, oh, forget it.
And did you tell your parents that you wanted to leave? That was one of the reason why you wanted to
Never,
leave.
never. And till this day, didn't. If they listen to the podcast, probably gonna find out that that was
Really?
one of the
Okay.
reason. But no, no,
And
no.
are you scared that they will find out? How are you with that?
Oh, I did my coming out many years ago. Well, more than 20 years ago. I'm good with that now. I came back to Martinique. I'm very now that I mean, it took me a while. It took me a few years of therapy to unlearn and untap a few things. You know, my credit card and my bank account diminish a little bit with all my therapies, but it was important. That's what's the funny part. The serious part is like, living and be able to be it's a cliche, but my authentic self felt amazingly good. It still took me a while to be able to be out, just really and fully out. My parents find out. Um, my parents find out. It was a hard time to navigate and to accept that, because, well, they still live there, the culture, and it's more about what people's gonna say. It changed a lot since then, and I'm glad that I have my parents that are really very, very, very supportive of who I am, my work, my family. It was a rocky process, because I think they had to learn and to understand really that it was not just only all the cliches and the stereotype that you were seeing on TV, or
Mhm.
people were talking about. It was a real life with real people, with real feelings, and we were just people. It's not, and I think the fact that I said, you know, if you're not coming out, you're trying to survive. But if you come out, and not coming out saying, oh, I'm gay, but just to leave and to live as you are, you're not surviving, you're living.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And I think I didn't want to survive all my life. I wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
I I was already surviving in the world as a Black person because,
Yeah.
people, the society tend to think that as Black people, we are less than normal citizens sometimes. So I had to fight already for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is not who I am. This is definitely not who I am. I have a voice. I'm loud, and I'm gonna be loud in every part of my life. I'm Black. I'm gonna be loud about the fact that I'm Black, and I deserve the right to be where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm an LGBT person, and this is part who I am. This is one part. This is not all. The Black part is more important than the LGBT part, but I'm an LGBT person.
Yeah.
I'm a Black queer, and
Mm-hmm.
this is who I am. This is my whole. So it's you have to accept it and respect it. And if you want to understand it, ask me, talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't assume that you know something about me. You may know something about other people. You may know something about what you see on TV, what you read. But if you want to know me, ask me, because I may not be the same queer as the other queer by my
Yeah.
side. And this is what I love about queer community. It's that we are so different. And if you want to learn about us, ask us. Don't assume that you know us because that's what caused the chaos right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, my parents know and my grandma knows, and my grandma is always like, "Oh, you guys love each other. You have a beautiful family." So it's
Oh,
like
that's great.
it was, I said, it's still sometimes a work in progress
Mm-hmm.
because you know they wanted to learn, they wanted to know, they wanted to understand. So I got lucky about that. It took a while, but I got lucky that they they put their heart and soul to understand their kid, and that's great. And now, well, my mom is like the biggest supporter. She every time she finds something, she sends it to me, and she's like, "Oh, I want to understand something." So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah.
So when did you actually tell them?
Oh, I don't think I didn't told them. They find out. I'm not gonna get into
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
but they find out, and it was quite a day. It was quite a day. So it was a rocky time, but I mean, I said that this is who I am, and I think also I was for more than 10 years. I'm working in the LGBTQI plus community. So and I was lucky enough to be recognized also in this community and to be one of the face of many fights. And so I think in one part they were proud of my accomplishment.
That's great.
I think I think that helped also to see that I was doing something right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really talked about that with them because for me it's like I'm their kid and they're supposed to love me for who I am. So I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really ask them about this part of my life and why they accept me. now as a LGBT person, but more I'm happy they accept me as their kids and their kids
Yeah.
who accomplished something in my field, and I worked hard and I had a voice and I helped other people. And especially when I was working with refugees, I had, I give conferences and workshop and I was recognized for that. And when they saw, I remember they saw when I said, "Oh, Google my name," and I remember when they Google me and they find me on, the internet, and I remember my mom smiled. And for me,
Wow.
you know, as as a Black queer coming from a small island, didn't didn't think that I could be that person,
Hmm.
and I am here today, and I'm fortunate to have, meaningful position and use that space to raise raise voices, Black and BIPOC voices,
Yeah.
family voices, queer family voices too, with my position as at the LGBT family coalition, to say, hey, we are here, we are valid, and especially trans and non-binary or non-gender non-conforming
Hmm.
uh, people who are raising kids, who are trying to be there as family, as part of the world. I feel like, yeah, for me, my parents told me they are proud of me and what I do. So I'm
That
happy.
that's great, and that's really interesting. Of the way you put it, into your having your parents just learning to know who you are, not because you're an LGBT or you're this or you're that, just for who you are. This is the
Exactly.
basic, right? And that makes so much sense. And it's, to me, I don't know, but for people listening, for if there's parents or allies, just to not put a label on everything all the time, just accept, the person you're with or your kid or whatever as who they are. That's it. It's as simple as that, right?
Exactly.
Should be.
Exactly. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I won't lie. It took me a while to stop trying to make them understand me as a LGBTQ plus
Mhm.
person, because you're young, you want to affirm yourself. It's like, who I am. I'm a LGBT, and especially that you have to fight with the whole world and the whole society and sometimes the government. You want your parents to really fully understand the
Yeah.
whole essence of who you are. And it's just one day I was like, yeah, but they also have to do a process. They also have to unlearn and to break the vision they had for you. It
Yeah.
was not a bad vision. It was just the vision that many people in society have, this
Hmm.
very hetero, cis normative vision of their kids. And I feel like sometimes I don't think that it's a normal or abnormal thing to do, or a logical unlogical thing to do. I feel like it's just the thing people is used to do. Everything that you read, it's like that's how you raise kid. That's
Yeah.
that's the path people to have. So when you give them like this information, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, it's I have something to tell you. I'm not gonna follow this path. And for me, it's also the same thing when they have this vision of you're gonna be. I'm gonna do the cliche, okay? You're gonna be a lawyer. You're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna be an
Yeah.
engineer. You're gonna be this and you're gonna be that. And you say, well, I'm gonna be an artist. Unless your parents are artists, sometimes it's like, oh, mm, are you sure there's
Yeah.
this moment of questioning, and that's that too. So I had to come with this, mm, process of mine saying, oh, wait a minute. My parents, especially now that I'm a parent too, I'm a parent too. I realized that even myself, I had I put expectation. Like my kids were born, and I put expectation on what I wanted them to be. I didn't want them to be like define themselves as boy or girl, or the specific things, but still I
Mhm.
wanted my kids to be a certain ways. So now I understand my parents. Even if somewhere they were okay, they still had to like cut and say, okay, well, our kid is our kid, but around people will not see my kids in their
Yeah.
entire self. They're gonna see my kids is part of LGBT. How are we dealing with that?
Mhm.
So that was that. My parents say, okay, dad, you guys, you are my kid, and now we have grandkid.
Mm.
That, the process of thing. Now we are grandparents. We had to learn how to be parents of LGBT kid, but still just our kid. But now we are not grandparents of LGBT, grandparents of kid from LGBT kid. We are grandparents. And I see that's the
Yeah.
lovely thing of that. It's because my parents don't see me as a 2S LGBTQIA plus person. They see me at the kid. So the conversation are not around, okay, what should we do with the grandkids if people ask question? Yes, sometimes, but it's like, oh, they are my grandkids. That's it.
Yeah, we forget about that we want people around us to understand right away. And as you said, they also have to go through their process and unlearn so much from what they've learned, and then relearn, you know,
Exact.
how to just be like your parents, just, and you being just their kid. So yeah.
Exactly. Because in all this, you forget also that being a kid is full of layers,
Yeah.
full of layers. And, but we go through it. Oh, I remember sometime I was so frustrated when my parents didn't understand one part of me. And now that I think about that, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I think also I had my part. I had my part, but I couldn't, and I have to forgive myself that about that. It's like I couldn't, I didn't had the word, I didn't had the patience, I didn't have the maturity probably too,
Mhm.
to explain things the way I should have explained it. And it's okay. It's okay because I was young. I was hurt by uh my own feelings. I didn't want to be that way. And even if I on the other side, I wanted to leave my truth. I wanted to leave it completely out. I had to, you know, make peace with little element from my culture, little element from my past, little element
Mhm.
of how I treated my parents when they didn't understand. It was a process also on my part. It was, and learning, I mean growing is learning, right? So
Yeah.
now I understand. I understand that it was a process for them, even if they didn't tell me the process they go they went through. I know it was a process.
Of
But
course, I think also because when we become ourselves, we want, because we were hiding for so long. And then when we come out, we're just like, finally, and then we want everyone to just be on
oh,
our side right away. And
and trust me,
that's
we
not
come
how it
out
is. Yeah.
colorful. We come
Yeah.
out like an explosion.
Exactly.
We need the world to know that we
Yeah.
are part of LGBT. But it's a beautiful process. It's the minute you accept yourself, it's a beautiful process. Because for me, the minute I accept myself, I was willing to lose everything. I was willing to lose everything to finally breathe,
Yeah.
because I feel like sometimes it's not the same for everybody. I worked with many people and I know it's hard sometimes to do it, but for myself, I was really willing to lose everything. And I think at some point I had this, I don't know if it's true, I don't think it's true, but I had this feeling that I lost it.
Hmm.
And I realized after that, no, but I think also it's because I didn't find a proper way to communicate. So that's why I felt like I lost everything. But I felt like it's more in communication that I lost, side of what was important for my family or and what was important for me.
Yeah.
And the minute everything got connected again, I saw that no, I didn't lose anything. It's just that I it's transformed itself. It was a new layer. And this
Yeah.
new layer, it's been wonderful since then. Um, Luckily for me, I know there's many people that may probably listen to us that it's not the same, but coming out, it's just not one layer. It's it's something that you peel, and you're gonna peel probably for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
From some layers, it's like winter here. You put one and two and three, but like when summer come, you take one and two and
Yeah.
three out. But coming out to your family, because sometimes you have many coming out. I came out as a lesbian, but I never really came out as a gender non-conforming person. Maybe they understand it, but
Mhm.
well, if they listen, they probably gonna do, But I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay. I don't remember the question. Maybe we went too far. But
No, no, it's perfect. I think the key word that I remember from all of this so far is also to be patient and to the surrounding and give some time.
yeah,
Because I mean, it takes us, like you say, a lot of time to just realize who we are and just to come out as who we are. So I think we have to, from what I hear, is to be a little bit more patient, maybe with the surrounding, and give them a chance and some time to go through the
exactly. It's not.
process.
There's no. We have, as queer people, we have to know that there's no deadline coming out. There's no deadline. It's
Mm,
up to you. It's right to explore. It's right to come back in. It's right to not be okay with how people around you, even your loved one, like treats you, but just tell them. And it's okay to take a step back a bit from even the people you love the most, to protect yourself.
yeah.
It's really, and when you are when you have the chance to have people that give one step, take that one step. We tend to forget that one step sometimes it's hard for them. We want everything right away. And I was one who wanted everything right away too. So
Yeah.
I know. But the
But
more
unfortunately, sometimes, it doesn't work. So we do
no,
have to really learn to respect ourselves
exactly. And if you
and
see
choose people surrounding us that are,
and exactly, and if you see that you are not able to accept this one step, do something that's right for you.
yeah.
It's important because, you know, we say sometimes to be the ego, being an ego and be self centered, it's bad. But I will say, like, you know what? In coming out, being self centered at that moment when you try to figure out who you are as a person and especially as a queer person, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not about being selfish. It's about being who you truly are. So I think it's
Exactly.
totally
It's
fine.
not about, yeah, I said
Yeah.
self-centered, selfish. Yeah. Being selfish is not a bad thing when it comes to self-discovery because that's what's gonna lead you through who you are and to go through adversity too.
Yeah. Throughout your journey, how would you describe your understanding of self love?
That was an amazing question. That's an amazing question. Hey, I think it took me a while. It took me a while to really understand self love, self acceptance. I realized even if I was coming from a country where everything was for me were good because I was black, everybody was black, my parents were black. They were, I knew about racism, I knew about slavery, I knew about everything. But for me, it was I fit. I fit in that world. And then I understand that I was probably queer. I mean, I am queer, but even if I couldn't come out, even if I was suffocated, I was still okay. I was still okay with who I was, with how I was moving in the world. I realized that it was more when I came here. I realized that it was more because it. I was used to see everything. I was used to. It was a habit. It was just habits. You
Mhm.
know, I was there. I was
Mhm.
there. I didn't even have to think about anything. I was black there. Everybody was black.
Mhm.
I was queer, but because I couldn't be queer, I chose not to, I choose to
Yeah.
hide everything. So I didn't have to think about that either,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And then I came here. I came here in a overwhelmingly white place,
Yeah.
you know? Nice place, very nice, but yeah. I had gone to France, but France was really, a part of it's part of a Martinique and slavery and my part of history. But coming to another white place with white people in my school, and I was like, oh my god! And people were asking me because I had an accent,
Mhm.
not a French accent, but a Caribbean accent. Where are you from? And I was 19 at the time, I was like, okay. And I was seeing queer people very openly
Mhm.
start really to feel like, okay, you know what? I was very, very conflicted in many part of my journey. It was. it was a hard time. It was a hard time. I will not say that I was depressed, but I used it already, emotional distress.
Hmm.
It came very strongly, very, very strongly. That's where I decided, okay, it's really time to go to see somebody, to seek therapy, to try to know myself better, to see that I'm valid and I have the right to be all of this, being black and being queer.
Hmm.
And I would say being black and being queer, but also being queer and being black. Even for me, black is the most important. Being black is the most important part of who I am.
Hmm.
Sometimes, and especially when you're trying to understand yourself, you have to put it aside a little bit. And for me, and I had to accept that the two of them were going together, but also that being queer and being black was okay. Because for
Hmm.
me, being black will always overshadow everything. So being black and being queer, you know, I learned to hide it. I can try to hide it, but still. But being queer throughout, you know, and being black was like, okay, how do I do that? And be okay with it. And so I talked to somebody and we unlearned things. Um, I grew up in a religious background, but I never felt that I was a religious person. So also I had to come to term that spirituality is one thing and um, religion is another.
Yeah.
And the minute I understand that, I think this is when I really discover self love. I think, yep, I healed. I'm not gonna be certain of everything. The uncertain one gonna be there. It's okay. I'm whole as every part of who I am.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be a work in progress probably all my life as a human being.
Hmm.
I'm layered. I have so many layers. And yeah, and I'm okay. I have the right to raise my voice when I can. I have the right to be, just to be, to exist, to
Hmm.
feel, to say when I'm not okay. And regardless if the fact that I'm black is not okay with people, I'm gonna say it. Black is not a bad word. Noir
Hmm.
in French is not a bad word. I am this, and I am also that. Queerness, blackness, parenthood, because parenthood also changed the viewing of self-love,
Hmm.
you know. And it was important for me to understand also the self-love part when I became a parent. Because, people tend to say like you lose a little bit of yourself, but I didn't want to lose anything becoming a,
Hmm.
maybe it's selfish, maybe it's self-love, but for me it's self-love. I didn't want to lose everything by becoming parents. I wanted to learn to be more.
Yeah. I was going to say that because for me, when I became a dad, it was like, okay, if I want my son to love himself and accept who he is, I have to show him that. He has to feel that I love myself and I accept myself the way I am.
Yeah,
This was the biggest gift that I could give myself to be able to give to my son. And
exactly.
I
And
still learn every day. Every day. Yeah.
this is amazing because that's what I'm trying to say to people. It's like I will. I know I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be the parents. Well, do you know, that fits in society because of some of my views at parenting. And it's okay. My family accept me the way I am. My,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm raising my kids in my ways and also in their ways because I'm raising little human beings. I'm raising kids, but
Yeah.
I'm raising also little human beings with feelings, with voices,
Mm-hmm.
with eyes on the world. And I'm learning self-love through their eyes and through the way they see the world. And for me, that changed my perspective so much throughout the years because I'm learning with them. And and this is how I learned that no, I wasn't selfish. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
selfish to say that I didn't want to lose everything because the fact that I didn't lose anything, my kids can have everything.
Yeah.
And every day I choose myself in small ways. I go running pretty much every day. This is my moment. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I know I am lucky enough to have an amazing partner that helped me every day with those kids and two other amazing parents because we are four parents, as I said. Even if we don't live in the same house, that's there all the time for us to be able to, each and every one of us, to be able to enjoy self-love. I think I had to mention all of them in the podcast because without them, I don't know what my self-love journey will have been either. I
Mm-hmm.
have to give them a props and give them love also. But that's, you know, small ways every day. And one of my co-parents taught me that it's like you have to, give your gifts every
Mm-hmm.
day. And when I say gift, I don't say with money,
No, no,
but
no.
you know, we tend to say small ways, but I think it's more gifts to yourself. Little moment, just a dance under the rain, just like, go running. Me, okay, my self love also a little bit of money. I'm a very, very avid shoe fan, like a sneaker fan. So it's like, a pair of sneakers or sometimes tattoos. But spending time with my kid, having just, you know, self love is also, for me, self love. You know what? I learned a few years back, I decided to do one on one time with my kids. And in those one on one moments, I asked my kids, I said, you know what? In this moment, you can say everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even things that you did, it was not good to do. There's gonna be no consequences. If it's a huge things, I'm gonna talk to the three other parents because I feel like it's important for them to know. But most of the things that they are telling me in that time, I would say like 90% of it stay between us. And it's really a one-on-one with each of them at the time. And at that moment, I asked them, did I do something to offend you? Did I do something that was not nice in my way in my way of parenting you? Is there something I did that made you sad and you didn't feel that was right, of the mistake you did or the fault you did?
Mm-hmm.
And I gave you consequences and you felt that the consequences was too harsh, or I screamed and I didn't realize. And the fact that my kids are telling me, they're not shy to tell me and to put it in my place sometimes because they turn 9. And trust me, 3 years ago, it was nice. No, mommy. Mom, you're good, moms. You're good. You're really good, moms. Now it's like, yes, ma'am, you did this. And I feel like, seriously? It was not, I, it was not good. I know I did a mistake, but you could have done something less strong, okay? But, and for me, that's also because it teach me how to better myself.
Yeah.
And for me, that's also part of self-love and self-acceptance, because I have to accept that I'm gonna make mistakes with my kids, and my kids are
Mhm.
gonna teach me how to be better. And I know I know for people it's like, oh, kids, they are kids and you, the parents, you have to teach them. I teach them. But the same way I teach them, they are teaching me
Yes.
how to better myself. And they are not disrespectful the way they're saying it. It's
Because you
just
teach them how to also.
exactly.
If
But
you're
as I said,
respectful.
they are little human beings. And I want them to understand that if something is wrong or feels wrong, they have voices to express it.
Mhm.
Sometimes I explain them, yeah. When I give them when I give you these consequences and you felt that this consequences was a very strong one, I want you to realize that what you did was really a bad thing. You were a kid. You were a kid. Look, sometimes you don't have the sense of the dangerousity, the fact that it's dangerous, or the sensibility of people surrounding you. So
Mhm.
it was not good. So I have to teach you. So that's why I give you that. But I'm sorry that you really felt that it was a hard one. I always explain to them why, and we have the conversation. But sometimes, you you're an adult. You're tired. You had a huge day at work. People were like, you know, pissing you off all day.
Yeah.
And you're coming and your kid's telling you something and you're just like, oh, I don't have time. And you yell, even if you didn't have the feeling that you yelled, the kids like felt it.
Mhm.
And that's what I want them to tell me. And I have to apologize. And
Yeah.
as an adult, to apologize to your kid.
It's hard, but you know what? This I learned to, and I promised myself that I was going to apologize if I did something wrong to my
Yep,
son. And the response I get from him is amazing. And they understand. Even being
exactly.
really young, they understand and they are so happy because
But
you teach
that's
them to apologize and to understand what happened, what you did. I think it's amazing.
And for me, that's part of the journey of self-love,
Yeah.
because after that, when my kids tell me, and and they have good memories. At that time they remember everything. And
Yeah.
it comes, a few times after, a few weeks or month after, and they come, wow, mom, you did very good this time. Well, I feel good. I
Mhm.
feel good. And I feel like, you know, yeah, my exercise were good. I worked on myself. I worked on myself. I reclaimed that part of be able to accept the mistake and to try again and
Mhm.
work on it. So yeah.
What message or piece of advice would you like to share with everyone listening today?
Ooh. Let me think. Hmm. With everything that we said, I think, life is life is a journey. Life is a journey. Queer life is a journey.
Mhm.
Black, being black. It's a journey if you put everything together. It's like a roller coaster,
Mhm.
but there's no one way of building your life or sense of self. You know, the world gonna try to put you in boxes. Um, the world gonna try to erase you sometimes.
Mhm.
The world gonna try to make you think that you're worthless because you part of two S LGBTQAI plus community or um part of the BIPOC population, especially if you're like, and also they're gonna try to invalidate your family if you're a family. If you are trans or non-binary family, that's also, and you're gonna be a target. We see what's going on right now in the world. It's
Mhm.
it's very a very hard time to be a trans and a non-binary person, and or be a black trans racialized non-binary person. So I want people to know that, you know what, it's like we can do the middle finger to everything. We can do that because we're not just surviving, regardless of they're trying to do to us. We are not surviving.
Mhm.
We are creating the future. And that's for me, our voices, our presence, our fights, it's it's a powerful, it's a very, very powerful weapon. So don't stop. Never stop. It's gonna be a fight. It's always gonna be a fight, sadly, but we're never gonna be alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Lance, thank you so much for being with us today. I think there's a lot of messages that you told us, that you told everybody, and thank you so much. And I will probably see you at Pride in Montreal
Definitely, you're gonna
soon
definitely
this
see
summer.
us. If you come to
And
our tent, you're
of
gonna see
course,
us.
of course. So take care, and it will be nice to see you again. And good luck
Thank
with
you
everything.
for that moment. It was amazing. It was a pleasure.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Lance, thank you so much for your honesty, your strength, and the love you bring in everything you do. As a proud, Black, queer, non gender confirming parent and advocate, you lead by example, simply being visible, real, and deeply rooted in community. Your voice matters, your story matters, and you light the way for others to live their truth. My dear friends, it is already time to say au revoir just for now. So please join me next Wednesday with another episode of the Together Moving Forward podcast. We'll continue sharing stories of courage, hope, and connection. Everybody, share this podcast and spread the good news. By sharing this podcast today, you will help someone find the strength to embrace who they truly are. Wherever you are from in the world, we are all connected. Remember, solidarity beats hate. The more we unite, the stronger we become. Because at the end of the day, we are all equally human and we all deserve the same rights. One last thing before I go, put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. All of us together. I honor my identity and all that it represents. Yep, I honor my identity and all that it represents. Please subscribe now. Your follow helps me keep this podcast alive and growing for our community. My dear friends, see you next week. Ciao. So Subscribe now and share to uplift, empower, and make a real difference in our community.